today I'm taking up the Typhoon in Tier 3. This is a fantastic aircraft. I love this thing. It's fast, it's got really good guns on it, and it's you want to stick to kind of boom and zoom tactics with it, but it is agile enough where it can outmaneuver various different planes. You're not going to be out turning zeros or anything like that in them, but I mean, then again, you don't really need to outturn zeros in this thing because this thing just leaves them in the dust. This thing hauls all kinds of ass. So let's jump into a battle and see what we can do. So this is a battle I had to basically harvest from my replay system because I realized I wasn't recording whenever I played this battle. But overall, I ended up walking away with a pretty decent score, and we were up against Germany in this battle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off these UI elements right here. I'm going to leave the kill feed open right over here so that you'll easily be able to see what exactly it is that I have, managed to kill in this. I ended up walking away from this one with 3 kills and second place on the team. So right here, I'm going to be climbing to 20,000 feet, and then once I reach 20,000 feet, that's when I'm going to engage. So I'll see you once I have reached 20,000. Okay, so we've reached 20,000 feet, and now I start moving in, and I start scanning for targets that are up at my altitude. And the first one that catches my eye is this BF-109, Power of Trekyali, or whatever his name is. I don't end up getting the kill here on him, but that's who my focus is on at this point because he's at the highest altitude. And right here, I noticed a couple of bots right over here in, as soon as it'll let me mouse over them. And I must have been having a spasm or something like that looking around like this. But anyway, I saw a couple of bots over to my left slightly, and that kind of tipped me off that there were going to be a couple of bots on the other team as well that I'd have to watch out for. Because in some of these battles, they sneak in a couple of bots that will, if you're not paying attention to them, they'll come and they'll wreck you. It's happened to me before just because I wasn't paying attention because I didn't think they were there. And I come to find out, I check my 6 and hey, there's a bot there and he's shooting at me. That's a problem. Here's my first target. ME410, chopped his wing. Made very short work of him. This is why the Typhoon, the Tier 3 Typhoon, is such a great plane, or part of it is because it's fast, it's agile, and it's got a knockout punch like you wouldn't believe. Those 420mm cannons are absolutely devastating, especially if you load the right ammo. So after knocking out that 410, I start looking over here in this general direction because I saw the AAA on my base shooting at something, and hey, there you go. There's another ME410 down there. Most other planes, an ME410 takes a little bit of killing, but with these 420mm Hispano cannons, you make short work of these guys. See, there's another wing chopped off. Very short order, another kill. The AAA shooting all around me should have cued me in that there were enemies nearby, and lo and behold, 2 FW-190 bots. Now, these are those planes I was telling you about. They tend to drop in when you least expect it, and they don't really show up on radar until the very last minute. So here I end up kind of tangling with them, but they're kind of difficult to hit with these 420mm cannons. You got to get the rounds just right, And the planes have to fall right within your convergence. And at this point, I'm using the air target belts, and the air target belts have absolutely no tracers, so it's hard to gauge whether I'm giving enough lead or not enough lead. So I take a few shots trying to guess at where the guy is going, and I thought he was diving for a moment, but I guess he wasn't, so I wasn't able to score any hits. And honestly, I never really did score any hits on this guy. I didn't fire here because I didn't think I was giving enough lead, and I wasn't really close enough to really be able to do any damage. But on top of that, there were also 2 more enemy players left, and there's the bomber right there. That's more along the lines of what I'm usually going for whenever I have something with this much firepower. I'm trying to knock out the big dogs. The big dogs. The big planes that tend to take a little bit of killing. I start moving in on him, but as soon as I check my 6, one of those bots is settling in on my tail, so I can't really afford to chase down the bomber. So I break off and I start maneuvering. Now the Typhoon can outmaneuver FW-190s. It is a better turner than the FW-190 is. As you can see here, these 2 planes are practically right on me. As soon as I deploy combat flaps and just start turning hard to the left, dip the nose, and do a little bit of a yo-yo here, a low yo-yo. And as you can see, those 2 FW-190s that were behind me just a moment ago, I have turned the tables on them. I'm now on them. Now granted, these are bots, they're not players, so they're not going to be as skilled as a player would be. But they do still operate under the exact same flight model that the player-driven FW-190s are subject to. So I was able to outturn it. Now, I didn't bother shooting because I'm waiting for that bomber to come back in. Eventually I'll take a pot shot here and there, but really the main prize is the bomber, and here he comes. This gunner does get a hit on me, and at this point I roll inverted, do a split S, and I come up right on him. The split S maneuver was to make sure that I had the speed to close distance on this bomber before those FW-190s come back in to take a shot at me. And score a hit there, and now this bomber's mine. There he goes. Completely disintegrated him. The 190's coming in. I roll up over the top. I take a couple hits here. Now the replay didn't include the hits, but I actually did take a couple of hits there. But I managed to shrug it off. That's another benefit of the Typhoon, is that it's rugged. It can take some punishment and keep flying. And this right here is the end of the battle. The P-51 gets lit up, but he manages to slice a wing off of the FW-190, and that ultimately is the end of the battle. So that's the Typhoon, or the Tier 3 Typhoon, the Mark 1B late. Awesome aircraft. These cannons make all the difference in the world. Now the previous Typhoon, if I can get out of the Army tab. As you can see, I don't really mess with tanks at all. And speaking of which, that battle, I got an achievement during that battle which got me this premium tank here. It's just a Tier 1 little premium tank. And, you know, I thought that was cool. I was like, okay, I'll take a tank. Why not? A free tank. Because reasons. You know. So, but anyway, back to the point. The Typhoon that I was using in that, it is the firepower alone gives it so much more of an edge over its predecessor. This one has 12 7.7 millimeter machine guns in its wings, but those machine guns just don't do any damage. They're so weak in comparison to those cannons. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please click the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video.